Our story takes place in a tiny village nestled between rolling hills. It was the kind of place where everyone knew everyone's name, and the biggest news was whether Mrs. Higgins' prize-winning pumpkin would win again at the annual fall festival. We meet Samuel, the cobbler, a man who embodied honesty. He was as sturdy and reliable as the boots he crafted. His shop, though small, was filled with the warm aroma of leather and the rhythmic clang of his hammer. Samuel believed in fair prices and honest work. He always said, "A good name is worth more than a fancy pair of shoes." Now let's talk about Marcus. He was the richest merchant in the village, but also the slickest talker this side of the Whispering Woods. Marcus could sell ice to a snowman. His shop overflowed with exotic goods, from shimmering silks to talking parrots. But whispers followed him like shadows. Folks said his spices were cut with sawdust and his silver was prone to turning green. One particularly sunny afternoon, a strange thing happened. A single dark cloud appeared above the village, growing larger and more menacing by the minute. The wind picked up, swirling dust devils through the market square. People scurried for cover, their faces etched with worry. Samuel calmly packed up his tools. He knew a storm was coming. He secured his shop as best he could, a worried look on his face. Meanwhile, Marcus was busy inflating the prices of his umbrellas. "Limited time offer, stormproof umbrellas, guaranteed to withstand a hurricane," he bellowed, his voice barely audible above the wind. People, desperate for any protection, emptied their pockets for him. Marcus, delighted with his good fortune, rubbed his hands together. "A little weather is good for business," he chuckled. The storm hit with the force of 1,000 angry cats. Rain lashed down, thunder roared, and lightning split the sky. The little village had never seen such a tempest. Trees bowed low, their branches groaning under the weight of the wind. The river, usually a gentle stream, became a raging torrent. Samuel, huddled in his small cottage next to his shop, heard a desperate cry. It was old Mrs. Peabody, her roof ripped off by the wind. Without a second thought, Samuel grabbed his warmest blanket and braved the storm to help her. Marcus, meanwhile, barricaded himself inside his shop, counting his money and ignoring the chaos outside. "Let them get soaked," he muttered. "More umbrellas for me to sell tomorrow." When the storm finally passed, the village was a scene of devastation, but amidst the debris, the spirit of community shone through. People helped each other rebuild, sharing what little they had. Samuel, covered in mud but with a heart full of warmth, helped Mrs. Peabody patch her roof. The villagers, witnessing Samuel's selflessness and Marcus's greed, finally understood the difference between true wealth and fleeting riches. As Proverbs 19:1 says, "Better is a poor person who walks in his integrity than a rich person who is crooked in his ways." Marcus, seeing the respect Samuel earned, felt a pang of regret. His pockets were full, but his heart felt as empty as his shop after a day of inflating prices. He realized that true wealth wasn't measured in coins, but in the kindness you showed and the integrity you lived by.